on the blog. What I wanted to ask first of all, so you are doing the full-on CVNP challenge.
Yes. Yes, I am.
Did you do the first one?
No, I didn't.
So neither did I. I just decided to do it this time. I don't know what, because I got a new knee last year, and so
Oh,
I've been doing a lot of walking and dreaming that I might start trail running again. So so that was a good challenge to do. Are you actually a trail runner or a walker?
I am a trail runner, but I need two knees.
Yeah,
I need two of them. So, and I'm not quite ready to go there yet. And
yeah.
so I have switched to hiking.
Okay, like you get a great workout hiking,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I
And
saw your.
you have to slow down. You get to see more.
It's very true.
It is.
I actually was just noticing you have to slow down first of all because of all the roots and the rocks on the
Right.
trails that are in
Yeah.
Cuyahoga Valley National Park. But it's true if you're just kind of racing along and don't stop and take it in. I mean, the scenery is really extraordinary.
It's amazing.
It,
Yeah. We're
it's
so blessed to have that just, right in our backyard.
I know it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I was in California. I was in Northern California in San Francisco for 25 years. So I got 25 years, 20 years. So I got a little bit spoiled at how accessible beautiful things are.
Hmm.
And I was trying to sort of keep my expectations. I grew up in Ohio, but I moved away in my 20s, and so I was kind of lowering my expectations coming back. But the park is extraordinary. It's
It
just
is.
extraordinary.
It's amazing.
It's great. But now I saw one of your paces because you posted a picture with your mileage and your pace on. You walk good. I mean, you walk a good clip.
Yeah, I'm moving.
It's it might
Usually because I have to be somewhere, I want to get my mileage in real quick because I have a class to teach or something else I have to
exactly.
do. So,
Yeah, that's.
yeah.
I work in Cuyahoga Falls, so the
Mhm.
park is on my way between Cleveland and I can just go through, but it means I have to get a walk in really fast
Yeah.
to get the
Yeah.
workout.
And every week I say I'm going to go slow this week. I'm going to take my time and I'm going to go early so that I don't have to rush. It never works out.
So now you teach full time at the yoga studio?
I Not full time, no.
Okay.
I teach 3 classes a week and then I'm also the studio manager.
Oh, okay. All right. And did you actually start that studio?
No, I didn't. I started doing yoga with the studio owner long before she even had a studio. And
Okay.
I told her probably about 4 years ago, I said, when you have your first teacher training, I'm going to be in it. And she looked at me like I was crazy because she was teaching classes in the back of a karate studio. And she wasn't even sure if she was going to keep doing yoga as a business. She was a full-time school librarian.
Okay.
And things just evolved. And then she got her own studio. She eventually started her own yoga school. And then last year, I took my teacher training and became a yoga instructor. And right
That's
away, she hired me as an instructor and then asked me to be the manager. So,
that's really cool.
yeah,
That
yeah.
worked out. So what did you were you into yoga for a while, or did you sort of get drawn to it for a particular reason?
I had done yoga on and off, um, like in the early 2000s, like 2004, 2005, when I ran my first marathon.
Ah,
I started doing yoga. You know how us as runners, we got to figure out how to stretch and all of that and how to stay strong. So I would do my little Rodney Yee videos in my living room, and I thought I was doing yoga. I had never actually taken a class until about 4 years ago. I had gone through a lot of ups and downs with my weight, having kids and, you know, just life in general.
yeah.
And 4 years ago, I was 220 pounds. And my health was, I had been generally healthy, but I went to my doctor. Well, I decided I was going to lose weight. So I did this thing at Cleveland Clinic, where I would every week for 8 weeks, I would go and they would do hypnosis and they would talk to you about nutrition. And we did little chair yoga and all that stuff. And I went every week. I didn't miss a week. I was the only one in the group that didn't miss a week. But by the end, I had gained weight. My blood pressure was higher than when I started. My sugar was higher. All my numbers had gone up. So it was like it didn't really sink in.
Yeah.
And that last class, my doctor said, well, at your next regular visit, we're going to talk about you on medication for all these conditions. And I was only 47 years old. And I thought, if I go on medication for diabetes, cholesterol, I'll never change. Because
Yeah.
why? you know,
Yeah.
as it gets worse, you just take more medicine. I said, that's it.
Right.
I can't do that. And so that was in like November, December. That January 2017, I decided that's it. I'm losing the weight. And I started these weight loss challenges. And I dropped 87 pounds in 24 weeks.
Wow.
And I haven't looked back.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah. And so from there, I was able to get back to my running and then, you know, back to yoga. And it just has continued on over the past 4 years.
Well,
So
you know, I admire the program that they try to do there because it really is, it's integrative. I mean, you know, they
it
try to
is.
come at it from all angles, but you know, clearly it doesn't always mesh with what's going on outside.
No, I mean, it's really got to sink in for you. And for whatever reason, I was just a body in a chair every week. You know,
Yeah.
I thought I was getting it, but when at the end, everything went the wrong direction. I thought, well, you know, I don't understand. What did I do wrong? You know, I thought I
Yeah.
was getting it all right, but I just think it wasn't clicking. It was the medication. That's when it really clicked.
That's really interesting. That
Yeah,
because
that
that
was it. I
really,
was like, oh no, I can't. I'm way too young to be
yeah,
on 3 different medications for the rest of my life. I
that's
couldn't do it.
that's compelling.
Yeah.
And two, you know, it's, I know some people who struggle with this. Once a pill becomes the solution, it's like I'll just take that and eat whatever I want, and
Right.
you know that's.
Yeah.
But you're on it for the rest of your days, and
Yeah.
that's sobering at 47.
Yeah. And I mean, like I said, I was 220 pounds. I'm only 5'4". I mean, the reason I even went to Cleveland Clinic was because I was miserable. I was,
Yeah.
you know, everything hurt. I was exhausted all the time. You know, I was miserable. And so I thought, you know, the way I feel along with being on medication, that's just, I can't do that, you know, not for the rest of my life. It's only going to get worse. I couldn't imagine being heavier than I was, you know. I knew that if I got on medication, I wouldn't change. I would gain more weight. It was just, you know, it was going to be a terrible cycle to get caught up in.
Uh-huh.
So
And what a boy, what a great and you know, just meaningful way to kind of get all those pieces moving and decide you're going to do it without medicine and with exercise and with yoga. And
yeah.
were you at any time in your life prior to that age of 47, you know, had you
Mhm.
been an athlete? Had you been?
Actually, no. It's oddly enough, I was born without a left kneecap. It developed in later, so I always had knee issues, and I was not like I would find ways to get out of gym. I always had a doctor's excuse because of my knees, so I didn't participate in phys ed. I was, you know, I was not athletic at all.
Mhm.
And then in 2000, around 2003 2004, I decided I'm going to start losing weight, and so I started walking, and I would walk in the evenings, and I might walk maybe 8 or 10 miles in the evening.
Wow.
And then one day I got this card in the mail that said that you could train with the American Stroke Association, raise funds, and train with a group to either walk or run a full or half marathon and go to either California or Hawaii. And I was like, well, I can do that. You know, if I'm training with a group, I was, you know, my weight was reasonable then. I was like, I could do that. So I trained. I went to Hawaii. I ran my first marathon, and I ran a couple more over the next couple years. And then I quit and I stopped and
Mhm.
gained a bunch of weight. And so, no, I never really was an athlete. And then, oddly, I still don't really consider myself an athlete, although I am. You know, I'm an endurance athlete. I've
You
run a
sure are.
50K. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
an athlete.
When did you do a 50K, you said?
Yeah, I did that 2019. 2019 was my year to do 50 at 50. And so I ran a 50K.
Excellent.
I was going to run a 50 miler. I was going to do Burning River. I went to the starting line. I attempted the 50 miler, and about 22 miles in, my time, I was going too slow. So they kind of pulled me from the race. I could have finished, but I would have been way, you know, past the cutoff.
Yeah.
But 50 years old, that was my mantra, 50 at 50. I'm going to do 50 at
That's really
50.
cool. I did.
So,
I walked a 50K in 2018, and I had been same. It was like in my head, I really want to do this. I really want to do this. But my knees were just shot at that point, and so walking was really the only option.
yeah.
And even that was pretty miserable. It took me 12 hours
Yeah.
to
Oh,
walk.
I did. My 50K was the only race I've ever come in last. I've come pretty close to last before, but my 50K, I was dead last. But I was so grateful that the Western Reserve, they all waited around for me. They cheered me on to the very end,
That's
and then they packed up and left. But But yeah, my
Great
knees, they were
organization.
pretty shot even then in
Oh, yeah,
2019.
yeah.
But I
And
did it, and then that's what was slowing me down at Burning River. There was just no way I was going to be able to make the cutoff. So
yeah. Now, so you said you need both of them, and you're trying to put it off.
yeah,
How long you try? Just because you don't want to have to replace it that much sooner, or
it's it's a I guess I can't wrap my head around it, around having both of them done. I don't know if I want to do them both at the same time.
uh-huh, uh-huh.
I have this fear, because I know people either have an excellent outcome or it's
Yes,
horrible. There
yes,
seems to be no in between. My grandmother died after her knee replacement, and it had nothing to do with the knee replacement. It was her heart. They should have put her in a wheelchair and dealt with her heart and not done her knees. It was far too invasive, but that sticks in the back of my mind.
sure, sure.
My husband has a relative who had his replacement and then eventually had his leg amputated. Again, it was more related to his heart. He had a heart condition. There was no blood flowing, and so they ended up amputating the leg. But then I know other people who have had wonderful outcome, and they say it's the
Yeah,
best thing I ever did. I should have done it sooner. And
yeah.
so
That's
I'm
that's
like, I don't know what to do.
that's my I never regret it a single moment. It's like the best decision I've made in I don't know how many years, but next to my spouse maybe. I mean, it's just, one of the best decisions I have made. It just to not think about it, and to not like plan your day or your hour. Like, I used to stack stuff
Yeah,
up at the top of and bottom of the steps so that I wouldn't have to make so many trips. And I don't think about it anymore. And it's really
yeah,
an amazing feeling. And but I can imagine the psychology working in the back there, like, oh, that person died, this person had
yeah.
so much of the outcome has to do with your determination to follow through on the physical
Hmm.
therapy. And I
Yeah,
mean, you've got that in spades,
yeah,
obviously from your, the discipline that you've already
yeah.
shown.
Yeah, I know, but I know that it's going to have to happen eventually. There's no way around it. It's just a matter of when have I had enough.
That's the
And
key.
that's the other thing. You tolerate the pain, and I've been tolerating it almost my whole life.
Yep,
So,
yep,
I know what I can take, and I just keep
yep.
taking it and you just get used to that. And it's like, well, why mess with it?
Right,
But
right.
I constantly wonder, what would it be like to not feel that pain?
Yeah,
That
that's
constant pain. Every movement I make, there's some level of pain in my knees. It's not always, tremendous, but just the slightest move, I
it's
feel that in
always
my
there.
knees.
Yeah,
It's always there. And just the idea of what would that be like to not feel pain.
yeah.
That's kind of intriguing.
It's pretty extraordinary. And I,
Yeah.
it, and and something you said about what oh another friend of mine. I'm on a dragon boat team, and a teammate had her first knee done the same time I did,
Hmm.
um, and then waited a year. She just had her second one done this past week, and she said, I knew what to expect. I know what I can take, and I feel like this one's going to go a lot faster. The recovery is going to go a lot faster than that first one.
Yeah.
But I was thinking back to when my doctor and I had been talking about it, and he kept saying, "You'll know when it's time. At some point, it's going to become like I've changed too much of my life,
Hmm.
and now it's time." So
Yeah.
that was where I started it. But you're able to do the walking you want to do and the yoga. How? I mean, that's
Yeah, but it's getting hard. The yoga's getting harder, and that's what's especially in my right knee, and that's what's making me lean towards I'm probably gonna have to go ahead and do this. If I can't lunge, that's gonna be a
oh
problem. Now
yeah.
I can teach yoga without doing yoga.
Hmm.
Um, I
I'm
didn't
sure
want to
you.
do that. I want to be able to do yoga. I want to practice yoga. But I
Yeah.
mean, clearly I could just instruct my class without doing anything, but I don't get anything out of that.
Yeah. Right.
I would like to practice, but I can tell just in the past year there's a big difference in my right knee. And so that one's going to probably go first.
Okay. Well,
Oh.
I will root you on, and I can share all the gory details of what to expect when, and but it sure is worth the. It's worth. I think I was back really fully active within 6 weeks. I was
Oh,
doing
okay.
good walks and on the bike, and it was
Yeah.
it went really well. So yeah, but I will cheer you on when that time comes. But
Okay. Thank
have
you.
you heard of chi running? Skinny
Yes.
chi running?
Yes, that's amazing.
Yeah, it
That
makes
since I don't do a lot of running anymore, the little bit that I do is on the treadmill at Orange Theory where I work out. And I am constantly reminding myself, of where my foot needs to hit,
Yeah.
that
Yep.
midfoot strike,
Fall
that is
forward.
amazing. Yes.
It bought me some extra years of running, and
Yeah.
now I'm trying to get back into it. Now the doctor and I, probably have different ideas about how smart that is after you get
Mhm.
the new knee, but I've read about enough people who get back into running after knee replacement, and I'm like, okay, that's
Yeah.
now in the realm of possibility. But Chi running definitely bought me some time before
Yeah.
I gave up on running
Yeah.
altogether. So
That's good to know.
at the studio, do you have a pretty wide range of clients age-wise, right?
Yeah.
Do you find that is it harder to get women, say, over age 50 to come and try it or tackle it, or
No, not at all. The majority of our clients are 50 and up,
that's
or I would say maybe in 40s and up. We don't have, there are not a lot of 20-year-olds coming through
okay?
our studio.
Okay.
We're all, mature women and
Okay.
men.
Yeah.
And which is nice because it changed my training actually changed my view of yoga a lot because I thought it's power yoga. I'm gonna teach power yoga. That was my thing, power. Doing the headstands and all the crazy postures. But learning the philosophy and the lifestyle has changed my practice completely. It's a very slow practice. I wouldn't call it slow flow, but it is very slow. There's a lot of breathing. And because my clients are older, we all have bad knees and bad hips and everything. I can modify, and they see that even though I'm an athlete, I have certain things that I struggle with. There are certain postures I just simply can't do.
Mhm, mhm.
And, I can instruct them through it and I can give them modifications if they need it. And I think it makes it more accessible for them
That's
to
great.
see she's the teacher and
Yeah,
she can't even get into child's pose.
that's
And
great.
it's okay because I can find other things that I can do that give me the same benefit of child's pose. And
That's
so I
really good.
think it makes it very accessible and very real for them. Like, oh, they're not all a bunch of skinny girls and
Right, right.
who can, wrap their legs around their neck and everything.
And like you pointed out earlier, flexibility can be an issue for runners. So I
Yes.
I'm really bad at yoga. I've just I have tried with Rodney Yee tapes or DVDs.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I feel like I don't even have flexible tissue in the back of my legs sometimes. It's just but it's so important. And one of the things that I read is that yoga is actually important for your like cardiovascular health because it actually improves the elasticity of your blood vessels, which
Yeah.
I never thought of it that way. I think of it as bones and muscles, but I guess
Yeah, it is. It is. It's amazing for so many things, and just the focus. Running actually, I think, helped my focus a lot. But the yoga and the running combined, the way that I can focus, and even just to control my breath.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
that people say you breathe so slow, but it's just because I tell myself breathe slower, and then I take a deep breath, and I slow it all down, and it's just all of it is just amazing that the two combined have changed my life, the running and
that's
yoga combined.
that's really amazing, and it's keeping you off medication, and that
Yes.
that
Yeah.
that becomes something like, again, that's sort of the point of the blog that I play with, is just a reminder that the smallest steps toward staying active, getting active and then staying active, and just keeping it moving in some way,
Yeah.
it's just so important for your brain and your body.
Yeah.
But now, so do you see yourself continuing to do running, like even these ultra distances?
No. I mean, I don't I say no, but then, that's because I'm under the impression that when I get these replacements, my running is over. And right now I'm not. I'm like, well, I'm not going to run. I'm going to save whatever I have left
Right,
and make it last.
right,
But, you
right.
know, who knows, when I get the replacements,
That's how I'm feeling. It's
I'm like, if I can run, maybe I will, but that I've been told by multiple doctors, we don't advise that you run afterwards. And so many people have said, you can't run after you get the replacements. It's like, well, I can't run now, so what difference does it
Yeah,
make?
I'm hoping for sort of a compromise of like low mileage trail runs a couple times a week, and then the rest of
Yeah,
it, I'll do low impact stuff. But if you can keep, again, with yoga and some strength training and so on, and keep just enough conditioning that the legs can handle it,
yeah,
then and the trails, do the most of the absorbing for us. So
right.
the shock absorbing for us.
Yeah, but I don't see any more uh long distances
Yeah.
in my future.
I wish I could walk more long distances, but it takes, as you know, so much more time,
Yeah,
to get the miles in.
yeah. But volunteering for Burning River, I saw so many people come through there walking,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
they finished, they did their thing, and I'm like, wow, that's amazing to me.
Yeah.
Um, the runners are amazing, the young kids that go running by and they're done in no time. That's amazing. But it's the people that are out there all those extra hours. And I've walked a marathon before, so I even know, I know what it's like to walk for 8 hours,
Yeah.
and the endurance that takes, and the pain that you're in, and you just keep moving and moving, and everybody else has been done for 5 hours. And I say to myself, that's okay, because you could never be out here. You couldn't last as long as I last, you
That's
know. And
that's
so,
important.
yeah, I mean, there's no way they could last 8 hours, and keep moving. You don't stop. If it's going to take you 8 hours, you're not going to mess around. You keep on moving. And
It-
so yeah, it's incredible to watch these people at Burning River, and they're all older.
mhm,
They're
mhm.
and I tell a lot of people that trail runners, we're the ones that had to give up the pavement and but didn't want to give up running. So a lot of trail runners are older, and we just still have that love for it, and you
Right.
know
Right.
and the endurance and the determination, and all of that goes with it.
That, and when I did the 50K, that was one thing I was able to tell myself at the end of it was, I was on the one hand a little embarrassed that it took 12 hours to walk, but then I thought, I just stayed in constant motion for 12 hours.
12 hours.
That's
Yeah,
that is a
that's an amazing thing. I mean, there are a lot of young people, their attention span is not even that long. You know what I mean?
true,
They're
true.
on to the next thing. 12 hours to focus on one thing, and let alone keep moving for 12 hours.
Yeah. Right.
That's
Right.
something that I think takes a little age, a little experience and wisdom. You have to have that to be able to, you know, do
Right.
what we do.
Right. I have an old friend who's from my track days in college, and we stay in touch on Facebook, of course. But one thing we'd both keep saying, we feel so lucky to still have these options, that
Yeah.
if you can get out and move and get the air flowing inside, and it just makes such a huge difference in the quality of life, to
Yeah.
just get out and do it. When you can you say again how old, or are you willing to say how old you are?
I'm 52.
52. Okay, because you've been giving me the dates and the years. I should make the calculation in my head. But but um, if you were trying to spur other people on, to say, look at me, I'm 52, I'm still doing this, this, and this, or maybe even just to spur people on to start something, to take something on for the first time. How do you find, what's the best way for you to motivate people?
The best way is for me not to tell them, but to show them. If I
Mhm.
show a before and after picture of my weight loss,
That's good.
that usually does it. I could get people to sign up for programs just by showing them my before and after pictures. But just, again, I'm 52. I was not an athlete. I started this late in life.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be an ultra runner. No one expects you to go out and run a marathon, but you can do anything. It's never too late to start, and just keep moving. Just keep
Exactly.
moving and do it now, because the longer you put it off, the harder it is.
Right.
So just move, just do something. Um, we offer chair yoga. If all you can do is sit in a chair and move your body, do something.
Yeah, that and chair yoga actually is something I found a little YouTube clip on somebody's yoga website to do exactly that, just to favor my knees for a while I was trying to figure out what poses that I could do. You can get some good motion and some good mobility from
Yeah.
chair yoga exercises.
Yeah, you can.
But your comment reminded me of an old proverb about planting. What's the best time to plant a tree? Yesterday. What's the next best time? Today.
Yeah.
So next best time, start moving today if you
Yeah.
have that option. I would love to share on my blog. I'll put a link to your yoga studio maybe in your Instagram so that folks can follow along. I do have to ask, one of your pictures you made reference to growing up in Toledo. Or not growing, did you live in Toledo?
No, I didn't live in Toledo. But I lived nearby. I actually grew up in Findlay, Ohio.
Oh, no kidding. That's where my parents live.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's where I'm from, Findlay, Fremont. I was born in Fremont, but raised in Findlay. And I didn't move to the Cleveland area till I was about 16. And
Okay.
I went to Berea High. And then
All
I've been
right.
on the east side of Cleveland now for 20 plus years.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, that's funny because I was thinking for some reason I thought it was Toledo, and I was going to say I've got relatives on the east side of Toledo that for 2 generations worth, but Findlay, that's even, I was in high school at Liberty Benton. I don't know if you knew that, but
Oh, yeah.
I went to high school.
Yeah. Wow.
It's a small world.
Yeah.
Well, I so appreciate you just chatting with me about movement and philosophy and getting going again, because I'm trying to populate the blog with the faces of people doing this and
Yeah.
the role models and inspiration. So it's terrific to be able to talk to you and put you on there, and hopefully we'll get some yoga devotees
Yeah.
started here.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, and starting with me, because I'm, like I say, so bad, so bad.
My other big thing right now is menopause.
Oh,
I'm the queen of menopause. So I just a few weeks ago I did a workshop for the benefits of yoga for menopause relief.
what a great
And so I'm
idea.
going through perimenopause actually, but in doing my research, the more that I learned, the more I thought, I have to tell women this. I can't be the only one that didn't know. There's so much information out there and so much that that we don't understand, or we've been told the wrong thing, or we don't talk about because it's taboo, or we've had male doctors and we're looking at it through this male lens. And that has changed so much for me. And just to be able to be in control of my menopause journey has made it so much easier. And so I've begun sharing that with women. So that's my big thing right now.
That's brilliant. Actually, that's really so important,
Yeah.
because there's so much misinformation and mystery and misdirection, and
Yeah.
mine was sort of forced because I had breast cancer right at that time, so I had the post, the, what do they call it, the chemopreventive and anastrozole that
Yeah.
shuts everything down.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, one day you got it, the next day you don't.
Yeah.
But that the adjustment was a little rugged when it's so many symptoms and side effects and whatnot that people just don't. And I think there's even a little bit afraid to talk about it with other folks, so you don't
Yeah.
know that you're suffering the same thing that millions of other women are suffering at the same time.
Right. Yeah.
But, well, that's great. Well, I'll add that link as well. But it's terrific. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your, taking a contact from a total stranger who's stalking your Instagram account. So.
Oh no, thank you for reaching out. It has taken me a while to feel like I have something to offer.
Oh my gosh. So
A
much.
year ago, someone asked me about doing their podcast, and I listened to some of their podcasts and I thought, I don't have enough to offer. Like one of the women that they had interviewed, I was listening to her book at the time. It's Depression Hates a Moving Target, and she's a runner, and I'm listening to her book, and she was one of the people they interviewed, and I thought, no, not me. I don't have anything to say. You don't want to talk to me. And so I declined. And so it's slowly I've been coming around to, you do have something to say.
You have so much to say, and say it. Oh my gosh, yes. And it's such an important time. So I encourage you, get back in touch with whoever that was and say, I'm ready now.
Yeah.
Next invitation. That's great. I so appreciate your time and the information that you've put out there on because I did see some of those menopause tags on your post, but I hadn't put together that that's a, a program that you're developing, which is wonderful. So thank you. And I'll
Thank
let you get
you.
back to your evening, and I'll let you know when this is up on the blog. I'll send you a link.
Okay, great.
Take care, and hopefully I'll see you on the trail.
Okay, it was nice to meet you.
It's good to meet you too.
All
Thanks a
right,
lot.
good
Bye-bye.
night.